Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to this session. I am Monica Reed-Kerrigan. I am a professor at Rowan University, and I was also the evaluator on the pilot year College Readiness Now program that happened this past year in 2014. And you're going to hear from some of the experiences of program coordinators, faculty, and students who participated last year. The session that you are in, just to confirm, is College Readiness Now, Best Practices in Bridging the High School to College Experience. I'm going to start by asking that my co-presenters introduce themselves and very briefly share the program that they were involved with and their role in it. And then I'm going to follow up with a set of questions to give you a sense of their experiences with the program. After that, we will open it up to questions broadly. We'd really like to engage you and so that we can share the information and what we learned last year. All right, if I may, Charles, could we begin with you?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charles Stuart. I was the coordinator of the College Readiness Now program at Camden County College, working with Camden City School District. I've been administrator at Camden County College for 14 years now, and I am very, very excited about sharing some information with you.
Oh, my name is Antoine Williams. My name is Antoine Williams. I'm a high school graduate of 2014. I'm currently attending Camden County College in Camden. I did 3 semesters of Camden County College, and it was a big opportunity for me to attend this college readiness program.
Tanya Da Silva, Passaic County Community College. I was the college readiness coordinator last summer. We partnered with Passaic High School and Passaic County Technical Institute, and our program was named A Bridge to College Success, which ran a 4-week summer intensive program featuring developmental mathematics and developmental English instruction throughout the day for 4 weeks.
I'm Amy Sheldon. I'm a professor of math, and I also coordinated our program. We ran a 4-day boot camp for students in the upper range of the active placer scores, and that's what we did using prescriptive software.
Thank you all. I'd like to begin by asking you to reflect on the most important lesson that you learned from the pilot year that would be informative to this group as they consider planning their own programs this summer.
Okay, one of the most important lessons that I learned was anticipatory counseling and anticipatory support for the students. And what I mean by anticipatory counseling is our program was a 5-week summer program that focused on mathematics and English as well as career and college readiness. In my opinion, our biggest challenge was getting the students to fight the sun in the summer. So anticipatory counseling, I needed to have a distribution list where I could readily call students to remind them, get up, do what you have to do, come to class. Having a distribution list, a Remind 101 to keep the students engaged and interested. Anticipatory support. One of the things that I discussed with the students was completing the homework after the program is over. Going forward, I want to build in a support session for those students, 1, to complete their homework before they leave campus, and 2, to address any academic needs or challenges that they have. So going forward, I know now to build in those anticipatory sets to keep the students engaged and being persistent in their studies.
Thank you, Charles. We're going to move over to Tanya and ask her to reflect on her experiences at Passaic.
The one thing that I noticed about this program and about the students coming in is that they really don't know what to expect in college. There is a stark difference between high school expectations and college expectations, and many of my students were really surprised on how much autonomy and independence they are given, but also that they feel more like an adult. So I think they would say to me a lot, in high school, I kind of feel babied. The expectations aren't as high. These are some of the things the students said to me, and I know coming into this experience, they were really surprised to see how much is on them to complete the work. Of course, that can be a challenge then because there's nobody calling home to make sure the homework is done. There's nobody, on top of them, although we also did offer some support services for the students and small group study sessions. I think it's just important to note that these students coming into community colleges and other places don't really understand that. So maybe some sort of bridge between the high schools and the local community colleges to get students acclimated to what exactly is expected would be a real asset to the students as well as the community college in preparing our students for our expectations.
We learned several things. We noticed on the first day of our boot camp that the students weren't progressing through the modules, so we took a look at, we used my Foundations lab, and we had to cut back on the number of questions they had or problems they had to work. So we went into every practice post-test, pre-test, and just limited the amount of work they had to do. So you couldn't use it out of the box. We used supplemental instructors, or you might call them embedded tutors in our classes, and we found that very valuable. You had a professor in the room and one embedded tutor to walk around and help the students or to provide mini lectures if a group of students didn't understand a concept. From the experience, we're reevaluating our placement cutoff scores. We have 2 levels of developmental math, and the way we broke them out is we looked at their algebra score to place them in our 2nd level developmental and the arithmetic score for the 1st level. And we found that a lot of the students who tested into the 1st level actually qualified for the 2nd level boot camp from their algebra score, and they did fine in that class. So we might be placing students lower than we should be. We also had a challenge with the grant dates. They ran when high schools were still in session and the July 4th vacation time. So we're going to start it later this summer to accommodate that. And we're also going to add a 15-minute introduction to the resources available at the college this year because it is their first experience at our school. And it's a big change for them. So those are the things that we learned at Atlantic Cape.
Thank you. I'd now like to ask you to reflect on what it will take for you to scale up your programs. Since scaling up is a significant issue, we do know that we see a lot nationally of programs that are innovative. They seem to work at a small scale, but are extremely costly or programmatically difficult to expand to our entire student population. So if you could reflect and share your experiences with possibilities for scaling up what you worked with in the pilot year, that will help us to possibly have a conversation later on today. Thank you.
To scale up our program in Camden City, we're looking to link our courses in math and English to the math and English departments at the high school. Our goal is not just to get our students college ready, but it's also geared toward having high academic achievement and persistence in high school as well. What I would like to see is students going through our developmental math courses or even a college level math class to have portfolios that they can share with their math department and math teachers for extra credit. And I think that with board approval and the marriage between our courses and the math and English departments, I think we can get more students engaged and have more success. Not just, again, college readiness, but also avoiding summer school and challenging math courses as well at the high school level. I think another thing that we would like to pursue is from a recruitment standpoint. I would like to target students by major, and that takes a little bit more effort from the guidance counselors to identify what majors students are pursuing. And with that target, we can bring in more professionals from our college to come in and do various workshops and introduce core-related classes to them early. So early identification of these things will definitely motivate and engage students.
Thank you. Tanya, can you talk?
Yes, sure. Some of the things at Passaic County Community College that we are looking into would be to first start the discussion with the high schools earlier. The program started last year in January and funding came in February, and we were successful in our Summer Bridge program last summer recruiting students. However, there was some challenges along the way. So what I would like to see going forward, and I'm excited that the grant has been extended, is that we can get into the school September. So let the students know immediately about this opportunity that they are given. One of the challenges I faced, I had many students who were unable to complete the program because of summer school. Maybe, again, it's a big maybe, but if they had known they had this opportunity to go to a 4-week program to earn some college credits, maybe they would have worked a little harder to not go to summer school. I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but at least you're showing them there's an opportunity. Why go to summer school to repeat what you've learned rather than go for something that's going to get you a benefit of a college course and experience? So that would be one thing I would like to scale up. The other issue we are looking at maybe going forward is actually having our developmental programs, which we do have developmental mathematics, as I mentioned earlier, and developmental English and reading. Have our students in this program actually be in one of our existing developmental courses with existing freshmen and other students. So they really are getting the true college experience. It's not that they didn't with this program, but they were all, for the most part, rising seniors with their classmates in a section. They were all the college readiness now. Now let's take it a step further. Have them in our classes. We could even maybe do a spring session after school where they can come twice a week. The classes run normally 2.5 hours twice a week. Our program ran 4 weeks where they did have the same amount of instruction, for those 4 days during the week. So that's a thought, maybe to bring them in. And that would definitely also make them feel part of the campus. They are students. And of course, again, this is a wish list, maybe give them some sort of college credit at the end, even if it's 1 or 2 credits that they can apply. Because we have a college experience class that we are currently running, as many community colleges have. That could be another way to get these students to come back, be interested, and say, look, I've completed, I have 2 credits, and now I'm moving forward toward my degree or my associates at least. Thank you.
Amy, do you have any thoughts on scaling up that you'd like to share?
The one thing we were thinking about scaling up is actually taking our boot camp to the high school during their after-school activity hour. We would run it for 4 weeks instead of 4 days. Really, that's all I have.
Okay, great. Thank you. While we're talking with you, Amy, is there anything that you'd like to share as a faculty member on this board to other faculty in the room about the curriculum design or pedagogy that was different and might be contrasted to the experiences of the students coming out of high school?
The pedagogy, it's computer-based, where they sit there and they work on it and they watch videos and we go around and answer questions. In high school, it's not taught like that, right? That's about all I have for that.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to now turn to the student on our panel so that he can provide some reflection on his experiences and share with the group hopefully some useful information as you consider planning your own programs. So Antoine, what would you like to share with this group in terms of perhaps the most important experience that you had during your program?
Well, the most important experience was the numerous opportunities the college readiness program gave me. I had gained knowledge on the college terminology and know how to be college ready. I learned how to use the college resources as a guide through college, like the E-Village, which is a place where you can go study or go do projects or just have a group meeting with friends. Also, I had the opportunity to meet and talk directly to the faculty about how many available resources were accessible at the college. Also, the program is a free, non-expense program, summer program for students, which enables students to not have to come out of pocket and pay for the summer program. Because if you know the summer, for college summer, you have to pay. But since this program, you don't have to pay. Oh, furthermore, this helped me learn my learning style and improve my academic scores. And also, what I think the summer readiness program should include in the future is a small breakfast, a small breakfast before classes start, because in the morning, students are tired, they might have had a long night, or, they might have lived far away where they weren't able to, wake up on time. So that will give them the energy to wake up, and pay attention to class, what's going on in class.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it was a bagel or, a fruit, as long as it's something, Also, I believe we just need more faculty in the program to make it grow and expand so that it can increase the enrollment in the program.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Antoine. I actually want to echo something that Antoine raised that I do think is very important. We kind of chuckled when he mentioned breakfast, but if we recall that the College Readiness Now was funded by the College Access Grant, which is specifically focused on supporting college transition for low-income students and first-generation students. We are, by definition, reaching out to those students who were getting breakfast and or lunch during the regular school year. And we know, for those of us who worked in the K-12 systems, that this is a significant issue as students move into the summer and may not have access to those kinds of ready meals. So I thank him for raising that issue, because I think it's important, particularly for those of you who are planning your next grant application as you're moving into maybe as a coordinator and thinking about funding that is, breakfast and lunch is an important part of your fund allocation. A couple of other things that are important to consider that I'll just reflect on in terms of what I heard from program coordinators, from faculty, and from students as I was conducting the evaluation, that go back to these ideas of really providing access and supporting students, is transportation. Many of the programs that had provided some form of transportation found that students were more likely to attend. Why? Because they didn't have to deal with questions about how they got to the program or how they were going to get home from the program. I believe it was, actually I'm not going to say because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know a couple of programs deliberately chose to secure school buses, even though it was the summer, even though it was an additional expense, because that contributed to the success of their program in the long run. So I think you should consider that as another option. And finally, and you heard this reflected in all of the comments that our panelists made today, we know from research, national studies that have been done, having students be able to view themselves as college students is critically important to their future success in college. So the ability to provide transitioning high school students, so 10th, 11th, even 12th graders, an opportunity to have college exposure, whether that's being on the college campus, whether that is taking a college class, as Tanya was mentioned, getting college credits, some kind of exposure to college and college experiences contributes to students' self-visualization of being a college student, and thereby contributes to their successful transition. So those are just a few pieces of information that we gleaned out of the evaluation and that echo really what you've heard from our panelists this afternoon. I'd like to now turn it over to the audience. I know all of you are involved in efforts like this. What can we answer? How can we share additional information with you that would help you in making your own plans moving forward?
Hi, good afternoon, I believe now. My name is Brittany. I work at Rowan College at Gloucester County, and I am an academic advisor, specifically for those students that are interested in taking college courses while they are still in high school. My question for you on the panel and anybody else that may be in the room is, before the courses that these students took, did you give them a mini orientation? Did you bring them all together to give them an orientation to discuss the resources that they have on campus?
Hi.
Thank you.
Yes, I actually visited both schools to first recruit the students, and from there, once I did get a pool of students after AccuPlacer testing, I invited them to Passaic County Community College for 2 orientations. I gave both the parents and the students a tour. I showed them the classrooms, and I showed them the materials that they would be using, and I answered any questions for them. And I'll tell you, the parents and students were very excited to come to the school and be, a part of it. Just to piggyback earlier what Dr. Kerrigan was saying, we offered lunch every day for our students. They got a $5 voucher, and I have to say, they really appreciated that. I even had one student, very bright, I know he's gonna go far, he said, if I only spend $2.50 at lunch, can I come in the morning and spend $2.50 at breakfast? So I know that breakfast is important, yes, the best meal of the day. Transportation is also important. Parents were very appreciative when I told them we would provide busing to and from, because our program ran from 8:30 to 3:30. Well, most parents work from 8 to 5, and that's not going to be feasible for them to get them. I had the pleasure of riding the bus the first day. Never again, no, it was not that bad, but it was summer and hot with teenagers. We did have a maid on the bus, which also alleviated the parents' concerns as well. But transportation and lunch, as Dr. Kerr, is really critical. They appreciate it. They loved our food, by the way, the college, looked forward to the specials daily, and it gave them, again, that time to be a college student, to walk around the college and see what it was like. We also, on the last day, I gave them an extended tour of the college, of the other buildings and just the bookstore and things like that that we kind of maybe take for granted as adults. are so important to them as students, especially our incoming freshmen. So I definitely think a parent orientation is not only necessary for the program, but also gives parents and the students a real sense of what is going to be happening over the summer and gives them the confidence of the people. I assured them that I would take care of their children, because that's one thing I had to remind my staff. As also an adjunct professor, I teach adults. I don't call home. But now this is a whole new game when you've got young people with you. So I made those parents feel comfortable and know they can reach me at any time. I had emergency contact forms. I really was proactive in letting them know that they should feel comfortable getting their students, to our building. But that's something that's different for many college, professors and many of you professionals here. You're now dealing with a different, age level.
Sorry, at Woodrow Wilson High School, they have a college access center where they have a designated person, Miss Yvette Pruitt, who was very, very instrumental in assisting me in recruiting the students, as well as letting them know how much of an opportunity this was. The access that I had at Woodrow Wilson was phenomenal. I was there pretty much every day, helping the students with their college applications, assuring that their financial aid was completed, making sure that they're totally aware of the cost of pursuing their college education while attending this program. So to answer your question, the access in the high schools, in the guidance counselors is the way to go. To make students aware in totality what they're about to embark on, which is a very, very good experience.
And what we did is we did it through our Jumpstart program at the high schools. The counselors and advisors were there, and they did a presentation for the students that was followed up with a letter from the school and then a phone call. And the instructors, the first 15 minutes of class, gave them an orientation, and we also advised the students when they completed the program. This year, we're going to have student services take the first 15 minutes to a half hour of our class to do an orientation as well.
Right. So again, group orientations, individual, the one-on-one I found in my experience was the most beneficial for the students in explaining what the program is about and what is on the tail end once you complete. The individual was the best.
I'm Maud from Cumberland County College. Did you have trouble with students being able to complete the financial aid application process early enough so that they could participate during the summer? If so, how did you solve that, or were there any issues there?
Okay. From a financial aid perspective, what we've created here through our division is college planning workshops. And through the college planning workshops, we were able to service not just Camden City, but multiple school districts with the financial aid application. So one of the first things that we did was identify the FAFSA PIN numbers. That is crucial. Getting the PIN numbers and working with the guidance counselors to secure those PIN numbers, because again, that is the end result, submitting the FAFSA with the PIN numbers. The only difficulty that we had with financial aid applications was for some of our ESL students, they just didn't have the Social Security numbers. And we're still trying to work out the kinks with that. Another challenge that we had was having the students submit their income documentation. That is always a challenge in getting parents to submit income documentation. For myself, I've known that I have called parents personally and knocked on their doors to have a real conversation about we're not requesting information to audit you, we are requesting information to support you through your child. By your child going to school, this is going to benefit not just your child, but the family at large. And I think that some parents are just kind of skittish about submitting that much information that they hold dear. So to rectify that situation, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, and if it's really, really necessary, I will. How you doing? My name is Charles, and I'm your child's college coach.
At Passaic County Community College, we did not collect any financial aid or personal information because they were rising seniors or juniors. It was a free program to them. It was based, on free and reduced lunch in the school districts. However, they did receive a workshop on financial aid. One of the benefits of our program is once they successfully completed the program and were placed into college-ready courses after the AccuPlacer at the end of the program, they were able to take dual enrollment courses. Even dual enrollment, financial aid is not available. It's only available if you are a full-time college student or an actual college student. So because they still were minors, they were not able to have any of those opportunities for them. But they were aware that once they complete the dual enrollment, they become a college student, then they can start with that process. But we just kind of gave them a quick workshop for that.
And at Atlantic Cape, we did it through our continuing education department, so we did not work with the financial aid. And it was free to the students.
Hello, my name is Megan Rutler. I'm from Rowan College. Part of the program was to address, to increase college readiness in a subject area, but it was also to address some of those other softer skills with college readiness. So you spoke to a financial aid workshop and an orientation, but can you speak to some of those other skills that you address and how you address those with the students?
Yes, I can. I was asked to develop a curriculum for a career and college readiness course. And I jumped at the opportunity because of what you said, those soft skills. What is it that maybe the guidance counselors don't have enough time to provide knowledge? One of the things that is very, very important is college terminology. A lot of our students don't realize that it's a different language that is spoken when you step foot on a college campus. They have no idea. And the example that I use, scenario, you're in line at registration and they punch in your student ID or your social security number, and the registrar is looking at you and saying you cannot enter this class because you are not matriculated into this program. And a student is most of the time frustrated. What do you mean? My financial aid is done. I got accepted to the college. Why can't I register? They can't register because they don't know what matriculation means. So they knew the terminology. What is a prerequisite? What do you mean I can't? The book said I can take this class because it's right there. But they don't know what a prerequisite is or a co-requisite. They don't know the difference between matriculation, enrollment, and registration. These are the soft skills that are very, very crucial to helping a student navigate through college, and more importantly, just staying. It's like equivalent to dropping a student off in Japan without giving them no type of support with that language. It's going to be frustrating. And my goal with the Career College Readiness class was to minimize that frustration as much as possible. Critical thinking was another. I use cryptic messages, something simple as a cryptogram, to have students to begin to think critically and outside of the box to solve problems. Because in a nutshell, that's what your syllabus is. You're going to get a list of problems that you must address, solve, assignments, solve this assignment. I'm sorry, I let you go.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
No, keep
Keep going? Okay, I'll keep going. Cryptic messages were, again, very, very important. I used simple games like categories. Categories is fun. And what I impart on the students is if you pay attention to the world around you, education is going to be that much easier. It's going to be easier for you to write your thesis statement. So we played categories. How many of you, by show of hands, have played categories? Isn't it fun? That's a great educational tool. Great educational tool. There's a whole lot more that I have done in the career and college readiness class to address those soft skills. So I'll allow for more questions because I can talk all day.
I just wanted to address quickly, and then our program, as I mentioned earlier, had developmental mathematics in the morning. So our program started from 8:30 in the morning till 11 with math. Then from 11 to 11:30, they had what we call like a study session time in our testing and tutoring center. I brought in professionals from around the college, including people from financial aid, to give mini presentations or workshops that were things that could be useful to them. We even had a presentation on writing a college essay. We brought in examples of writing a college essay. We had the students do examples. I had math and English tutors come in and give lessons on organization, study skills, organizing your notebook. Because one thing the students said is, I'm getting a lot of homework every night. You know, they're leaving at 3:30 on a bus to go home, and I know it's their summer, they want to enjoy themselves, but I said, this is the college life. You have to do your homework. So we also worked on that, and that is a big skill, is organization and study skills. So those are some of the things that we implemented during that half-hour study time. And I also went to lunch with the students every day with the guidance counselor so that we can address any other needs that came up. And sometimes that's where we had more of that one-on-one discussion. If a student was struggling or had some issues, if one student said, you know, her mom worked late and she was taking care of the younger kids. So we worked out a plan for her to get her homework done where she was able to come in a little earlier. So we kind of worked with the students. So I think that's very important that you have that also, that individual time, as you mentioned earlier, but also a group session where you give them that college experience. Again, not just about the academics, but more about organization, study, time management, very important skills.
We had a new student day where the student attended a workshop on study skills and career paths, and we also had a workshop for the parents on the same day.
I have another activity that you might find very, very useful if you do a college success or a college experience course, the game of taboo. Logically and critically expressing yourself is very, very important. On a high school level, I don't know how much of that is taught, but using taboo, the students had fun. If you know how to express yourself, try to get people to say a word without saying these easy ones. It was phenomenal. They have fun with that.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm the coordinator for bridge programs for students who placed into developmental and ESL at our college at Hudson County Community College. My question is for Antoine, actually. What kept you motivated the most? You mentioned a lot of things that you got out of the program at the end, but my question is, what kept you motivated to keep going during the summer? What, out of all of the things that you experienced in the program?
Well, what kept me motivated was Mr. Stuart. You know, he was there, you know, helping me and guiding me through college. You know, he was always on my back telling me, you know, he was just, you know, always there, you know, and I also working with other students at the college gave me motivation.
My question is for Mr. Love. That's your last name, right?
Mr. Williams, Antoine
Oh,
Williams.
Antoine Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a book that said Love. Okay. I'm Marjorie Pittman. I'm the EOF director at Rowan College at Gloucester County. My question is for you. If you could recommend this program to other students, have you or will you? And what is the one thing that makes you feel connected to the college community as going through the program?
Well, one thing I would tell students about this program, it is a big opportunity. it's a big experience. You know, you will experience a lot and you will learn a lot. I would definitely recommend this to graduating students because it's you know, if you don't believe that you can make it, you know, this program is here to show that, you know, you can make it. It was once that I thought I wasn't going to make it, and, you know, Mr. Stuart came there and he told me, you know, we have this program that can help you out because I had low test scores at once upon a time, and this program helped me out tremendously, and I will recommend it to every high schooler that is graduating.